Previously on When the Slipper Fits.
Turns everything back into time when Cinderella was back up in the tower, locked in her room, so they can unfold the legacy. And you're sitting there going, no! Why? Because Satan knows your story and he cannot stand it. What's going on, guys? And welcome to episode 3 of When That Slipper Fits. Satan knows your story and he cannot stand it, part 2. Before we get into today's topic, be sure to subscribe and thumbs up on my channel. Click that notification bell. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram so that you get updates on upcoming episodes and events. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So last week we talked about the Satan part of turning the legacy into their story. Today we're going to talk about faith. Where is your faith? Just like Cinderella, there were times that her faith was pretty much limited, but we all know that her faith is stronger than the fear. So we're going to talk about some biblical principles in our Bibles. So we stopped when the slipper broke. Cinderella was beside herself. She's so confused that she doesn't know what's going on. There are times we're like that too. A breakthrough comes, and then in the midst of it, it shatters, and we don't know what happens next. We lose lack of faith, we lose hope, and we feel defeated. But we know in our Bibles, it clearly says in Isaiah 54 that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So let's go back to one of the topics of Cinderella that can relate to our Bible story in Isaiah 54 and how big your faith is. Cinderella at that point was so confused because she didn't understand what just happened in her story. And she kind of forgot because the stepmother twisted the story back into time. So therefore, she doesn't know what's happening. All she can remember is the night before this happened. Well, what happened? That magic night happened, and with a single dance, she found more than just a storybook romance. She found the story. And at that point, when you find your story, there are times that the enemy can start tricking and trapping you to thinking that wasn't your story. But you know that your purpose is about to become the legacy that you need to fulfill. So as she's watching the slipper on the floor break, she knows inside her heart, this is what the slipper still looks like. It's whole. Your faith is not shattered. It's whole. So no matter what just happened, your faith is whole. Because it clearly says again in Isaiah 54, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So therefore, you have absolutely nothing to fear about. So then what happens with Cinderella? In the rest of the story, after everything just happened, the slipper breaking, the stepsisters going into the castle to try to get the prince, her mice friends tell her, the prince knows he danced with Cinderella. When the right person knows it's exactly you and no one else, he's going to know exactly who you are. Because God planted that man in your life for a reason. So what happened to Cinderella's faith? Did it lose or did it gain? It gained. Because at that moment, when the mice friends said to her, he knows it was her. Instead of giving up on the purpose, she decided to build up her faith. And we know when we build up our faith and know who our God truly is, we can gain back the story that Satan tried to take away. So she gets up and goes to the castle, even though the stepmother told her not to go to the castle. That's where we tell Satan, you have no power over me. You have no authority or control over me, because we are warriors and we go out and defeat the devil. So she got up and walked back into the castle to try to gain back the story. Say you're Cinderella right now. You have everything that you wished, well, not wished, you prayed about. And you sat in the middle of the throne room and declared it and decreed it in the name of Jesus. Satan and people come together and try to manipulate the story. What do? You don't give up. You don't give up. Because what does it say in the book of James? And we're going to look it up right now together as a group. So we're going to open up our Bibles to James 1, verse 6. But let him ask in faith without doubting. For the doubters is like the surging sea driven and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord, being double-minded and unstable in all his ways. Do you want to be a double-minded fool and just walk away from the purpose? Or do you want to be like it says in the Bible and what Cinderella did and pick yourself back up, know what you truly asked and believed for, and go get it back? There is no time to crumble or wonder if this was really meant to be. It was meant to be. If it wasn't meant to be, you wouldn't have the countless attacks that you're getting right now. Cinderella wouldn't have the attacks she got in the story. She got the amount of attacks because of her faith. Faith scares the devil. Your faith is what scares Satan. Your purpose is what scares Satan. You scare Satan. Therefore, he cannot take away your story. Therefore, he can't touch your story. He can't touch you. But what happens if all these people come at me and start attacking me? Are you going to believe in them? Or are you going to believe in God? I'd say God is my answer. But what's your answer?